the woman who disappeared. I never thought silence could be so expensive. But when you're hiding from a man who owns half the city, silence becomes the only currency that matters. My name is Marachin, and 6 months ago, I made a choice that would either save my life or end it. I disappeared. Not because I wanted to, because I had to. You see, when you work as a financial analyst for legitimate businesses, you don't expect to stumble onto something that shouldn't exist. Accounts that don't add up. Money that moves like water through channels that officially aren't there. I found the pattern on a Tuesday afternoon. By Wednesday, I knew I'd made a terrible mistake. By Thursday, I knew I was being watched. His name was Dominik Volkov, and he didn't just run an organization. He was the organization. I should have been terrified when his men showed up at my office. The 2 guys in expensive suits who didn't say a word, just stood there until my boss nervously suggested I take a meeting upstairs. The penthouse suite I'd never been allowed into. That's where I met him. Dominik didn't look like what I expected. No gold chains. No visible weapons. Just a man in his mid-30s wearing a perfectly tailored charcoal suit, sitting behind a desk, reading something on his tablet like I wasn't even there. He let me stand for 3 full minutes before he looked up. "Miss Chin," he said quietly. His voice was calm. Too calm. "You've been asking questions. I was doing my job. Your job is to process numbers, not understand them." The air in that room felt thin, like breathing required permission. "I can forget what I saw," I said. He smiled. Not warmly. "Can you?" That's when I understood. I wasn't there for a warning. I was there for an evaluation. He studied me the way you'd study a chess piece, trying to decide if I was useful or disposable. "You're good with patterns," he said. "Better than the last 3 analysts we've had. You found something in 6 weeks they missed for 2 years. I don't want trouble. Then you chose the wrong profession." He stood up, walked to the window overlooking the city. "I'm going to offer you a choice, Miss Chin. You can leave this building and pretend this conversation never happened. Or you can stay. Work directly for me. Do what you're clearly talented at, with full protection and triple your current salary." I should have run. But I didn't. I stayed. For 3 months, I worked in that penthouse. I cleaned money, tracked shipments, made problems disappear on paper. And slowly, without meaning to, I started seeing Dominik as something other than dangerous. I saw the way he never raised his voice, even when his men failed him. The way he read philosophy books written in Russian during lunch. The way he looked at me sometimes, like he was trying to figure out a puzzle he didn't have all the pieces to. We barely spoke, but the silence between us started feeling different. Less like fear, more like waiting. Then one night, everything changed. I was working late. Everyone else had gone home. Just me, the security guard downstairs, and Dominik in his private office. He called me in around midnight. I found him standing by the window, tie loosened, looking more human than I'd ever seen him. "Do you know why I hired you?" he asked. "Because I'm good with numbers." "No." He turned to face me. "Because you didn't lie to me. That first day. You didn't pretend you hadn't seen anything. You didn't grovel. You just stood there and told me the truth." Something in his eyes looked tired. "Everyone around me lies, Mara. It's their survival instinct. But you didn't." That was the first time he used my first name. We stood there in that dim office, and for just a moment, the power imbalance disappeared. He was just a man, and I was just a woman, who made a stupid, reckless, irreversible choice. One night that changed everything. I won't give you the details you're expecting, because what happened that night wasn't about passion or desire. It was about 2 lonely people finding something quiet in each other. He didn't seduce me. I didn't throw myself at him. We just stopped pretending we didn't feel something. One conversation led to another. One touch of hands became something more. And when I left his office that morning, everything felt different. I thought maybe somehow this could work. I was so incredibly wrong. 3 days later, I heard him on the phone in his office. The door was cracked. I wasn't trying to listen, but I heard my name. "The Chun woman," he said in Russian. I'd been learning the language in secret for weeks. "She's become a liability. Too close. Knows too much." My blood went cold. "Handle it quietly," he continued. "I don't want complications." I didn't wait to hear more. I left the building during lunch and never came back. I cleaned out my apartment in 40 minutes. Grabbed my emergency cash. Took a bus 3 states away and paid for everything in cash. No phone. No credit cards. No digital footprint. I disappeared into a small town in Vermont, where nobody asked questions if you paid rent on time. Got a job waitressing at a diner. Rented a room above a bookstore. Became invisible. That's when I found out I was pregnant. 2 months disappeared. 3 months. 4. Every day I expected his men to find me. Every car that slowed down outside made my heart stop. But nobody came. I started to believe maybe I'd actually escaped. Maybe Dominic had decided I wasn't worth the trouble. Maybe he'd forgotten about me entirely. Then my daughter was born. Lily. 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Dark hair. Beautiful. And when she opened her eyes for the first time, I saw him staring back at me. The same steel gray eyes. The same intense focus. She was his. Completely, undeniably his. And I knew I could never let him find out. The quiet life. 6 months. That's how long I managed to keep my secret. Lily grew stronger every day. Started smiling. Started reaching for things. I worked double shifts at the diner, and Mrs. Kowalski from downstairs watched her during the day. It wasn't much, but it was safe. I'd stopped looking over my shoulder. Started believing in normal again. That was my first mistake. The second was getting comfortable. It was a Wednesday afternoon. Slow day at the diner. Just me, 2 regulars, and a man I'd never seen before sitting in the corner booth. He didn't look dangerous. Mid-40s. Reading glasses. Drinking coffee and reading the newspaper like he had all day. But something felt off. The way he never actually turned the page. The way his eyes followed me every time I moved. When my shift ended, I walked home the long way. Took 3 extra turns. Checked behind me constantly. Nobody there. I was being paranoid. I picked up Lily from Mrs. Kowalski, went upstairs, locked both locks, and finally breathed. Then I saw the envelope on my kitchen table. Plain. White. No address. My hands shook as I opened it. Inside was a single photograph. Of me. Holding Lily. Taken yesterday at the park. No note. No explanation. Just that picture. He knew. I don't know how, but Dominic knew. I grabbed Lily, threw essentials into a bag, and headed for the door. But when I opened it, there he was. Standing in my hallway. Dominic Volkov. In a small Vermont town. Outside my apartment. He looked exactly the same. Perfect suit. Unreadable expression. Except his eyes. His eyes went straight to the baby in my arms. The silence stretched so long I forgot how to breathe. Mara, he said quietly. Just my name. Nothing else. Lily made a small sound, and his entire face changed. Something cracked in that perfect control. May I come in? He asked. I should have run. Should have screamed. Called for help. But something in his voice stopped me. He wasn't there to hurt me. I could see it in the way he stood, careful. Controlled. Like he was trying not to scare me more than he already had. I stepped back. Let him in. He closed the door behind him, but didn't move further into the room. Just stood there, staring at Lily with an expression I'd never seen on his face before. Wonder. Fear. Something raw. Is she mine? He asked. I could have lied. Should have lied. But I didn't. Yes. He closed his eyes. Breathed out slowly. When he opened them again, there were questions there. Anger maybe. But not at me. You ran because you heard me on the phone, he said. It wasn't a question. You said I was a liability. That you'd handle it. I was talking about moving you somewhere safe. His voice was quiet. Controlled. There were people asking questions. People I don't control. I was arranging protection for you. The floor dropped out from under me. I was going to tell you that night, he continued. But you disappeared. Completely. Like you never existed. I know what you thought. He looked at Lily again. I've spent 6 months looking for you. Every resource I have. And you just vanished. There was something almost like respect in his voice. Why? I asked. Why search for me at all? He was quiet for a long moment. Because that night meant something to me, he said finally. And when you disappeared, I thought someone had gotten to you. Killed you. I searched morgues, Mara. Checked every Jane Doe in 4 states. My throat tightened. I mourned you, he said softly. Lily squirmed in my arms. Made a small whimpering sound. Dominic's attention shifted immediately. Can I? He stopped. Started again. May I hold her? Every instinct screamed no. But I saw something in his face I'd never seen before. Vulnerability. I walked over slowly. Showed him how to support her head. He took her like she was made of glass. And the most dangerous man I'd ever known stood in my tiny apartment, holding his daughter for the first time, looking absolutely terrified. Her name is Lily, I said quietly. Lily, he repeated, testing it. Then quieter. She has my eyes. I know. He looked up at me then. Really looked at me. I'm not here to take her from you, he said. Or to punish you. I'm here because I needed to know you were alive. And now, he looked back down at Lily. Now I need to know she's safe. We're fine, I said. But my voice shook. No, you're not. His voice was gentle but firm. You're waitressing 60 hours a week in a town where anyone could find you. No security. No protection. Living in a room with one exit and locks a child could break. I've managed. You've survived. There's a difference. Lily grabbed his finger, held on tight, and I watched something change in his face. Let me help, he said quietly. Please. Every logical part of my brain was screaming to refuse. But I was so tired. Tired of looking over my shoulder. Tired of working myself to exhaustion. Tired of being afraid. What kind of help? I asked carefully. Dominic gently handed Lily back to me. Like it hurt to let her go. A house. Security. Everything you need. In exchange for what? Nothing. He saw my expression. I'm not asking you to be with me, Mara. I'm asking you to let me be a father. The word sounded strange in his mouth. I don't know how to do this, he continued. I don't know how to be this. But I want to try. And I want you both safe while I figure it out. Your world isn't safe, I said. No. But it's safer with me than without me. The people who were asking about you 6 months ago, they're still looking. They don't know about Lily yet. But if they find out, he didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. So what are you suggesting? I asked. Come back. Not to the city. Somewhere quiet. Private. A house with actual security. You and Lily. I'll keep my distance if that's what you want. But I need to know you're protected. And you'll just what? Visit sometimes? Play father when it's convenient. Something flashed in his eyes. Anger, but not at me. I don't know what I'll do, he said honestly. I've never had anything I cared about losing before. But I'm standing here in your apartment, and for the first time in my life, I'm asking instead of taking. That should tell you something. He was right. The Dominic I knew didn't ask. Didn't explain. Didn't show weakness. But the man in front of me was doing all three. I need time, I said. To think. You have 24 hours. Then I'm moving you whether you agree or not. There was the man I knew. You can't just. I can. And I will. Because in 24 hours, the people looking for you will know I found you. And when that happens, this town becomes a target. Mrs. Kowalski downstairs. The regulars at your diner. Everyone becomes collateral. My blood went cold. So you can come willingly, maintain some control over the situation. Or I can move you by force and you'll hate me. Either way, you're not staying here. Lily started crying, like she could feel the tension in the room. I rocked her automatically, and Dominic watched with an expression I couldn't read. I'll come, I said quietly. But on conditions. Name them. My own space. Privacy. You don't get to control my life. Agreed. And if I want to leave, you can't. His voice was firm. Not until this is resolved. But you'll have freedom within those boundaries. I'm not a jailer, Mara. I'm trying to keep you alive. I looked down at Lily. At her tiny, perfect face. She deserved better than running. Better than fear. Maybe this was the only way to give her that. When do we leave? I asked. Something like relief crossed his face. Tomorrow morning. Pack light. Everything else will be provided. He moved toward the door, then stopped. Mara? Yes. Thank you. For keeping her safe. For. He paused. For everything. Then he was gone. And I was left standing in my apartment, holding our daughter, wondering if I'd just made the best decision of my life. Or the worst. The house wasn't what I expected. No mansion. No obvious displays of wealth. Just a beautiful, modern home nestled in the woods. 2 hours from the city. Private. Quiet. From the outside, it looked almost normal. Until you noticed the cameras. The reinforced doors. The men in suits patrolling the perimeter like they were guarding a fortress. Because they were. Dominic gave me the tour himself. Showed me my rooms, an entire wing actually. Bedroom. Nursery for Lily. Private bathroom. Small living area. Everything was perfect. Too perfect. You don't have to stay in this wing, he said. The whole house is yours. This is just your space. If you want it, where will you be? The east wing. Opposite side. You won't see me unless you want to. It felt wrong. This careful distance. This politeness. like we were strangers instead of two people who'd created a life together. Lily started fussing, and I moved to the nursery to feed her. Dominic stood in the doorway, watching, uncertain. "You can come in," I said. He moved slowly, sat in the chair across from me. We didn't talk, just existed in the same space. After Lily finished eating, I burped her and she promptly spit up on my shoulder. I laughed. Couldn't help it. And Dominic smiled. A real smile. Small but genuine. "Does she do that often?" he asked. "Every single time. You're good with her." "I've had practice." The weight of those words hung between us. 6 months of practice he'd missed. "I'm sorry," I said quietly, "that you missed so much. I'm sorry you were so afraid you had to run." We looked at each other then. Really looked. And something shifted. Not forgiveness. Not yet. But maybe understanding. "I want to be here," he said. "I want to know her. Learn her. Be." He stopped. "I don't have the words." "A father," I said softly. "I don't know how to be that." "Neither did I. You figure it out as you go." He nodded slowly. "Can I ask you something?" I said. "Anything." "That night. When we... Was it real? Or was I just..." "It was real." His voice was firm. Certain. More real than anything in my life before or since. My heart did something complicated in my chest. "Then why?" "Because I didn't know how to have something real without destroying it," he said. "Everyone close to me becomes a target. Everyone I care about becomes a weapon someone else can use. I thought putting distance between us would keep you safe. Instead it made me run." "Yes." Lily yawned, her tiny face scrunching up adorably. "She's tired," Dominic observed. "She's always tired after eating." "Should I leave?" I looked at him. This powerful, dangerous man asking permission like he was afraid of doing something wrong. "You can stay," I said, "if you want to learn how to put her down for a nap." Something lit up in his eyes. For the next 20 minutes, I taught Dominic Volkov, man who could probably end lives with a phone call, how to swaddle a baby. He was terrible at it. Lily kept squirming free. The blanket kept coming undone. But he didn't give up. Didn't get frustrated. Just kept trying until he got it right. And when Lily finally fell asleep in his arms, he looked down at her with such wonder that my chest hurt. "She's perfect," he whispered. "Yes. I missed 6 months of this. You're here now." He looked up at me. "Am I forgiven?" "I don't know yet," I said honestly. "But maybe we can figure it out together." He nodded, carefully placed Lily in her crib. We stood there, watching her sleep. Two people who barely knew each other. Who'd created something beautiful anyway. "Mara?" "Yeah. I know this situation isn't ideal. But I'm going to do everything I can to make it work. For her. For you. I believe you." And strangely I did. The first week was strange. We orbited each other like planets. Close but not touching. Dominic would appear in the mornings while I fed Lily. Sit quietly. Watch. Learn. He never pushed. Never demanded. Just existed with us. I started to notice small things about him. The way he always brought me coffee without asking. Always the right temperature. How he'd had the nursery stocked with every possible thing Lily might need, including the exact brand of diapers I'd been using in Vermont. He'd paid attention. Even before he found us. "How did you know?" I asked one morning. "Know what?" "The diapers. The formula. Everything." He looked almost embarrassed. "I had someone photograph the contents of your apartment before approaching you. Wanted to make sure I could replicate everything. Make the transition easier. It should have felt invasive. Instead it felt considerate." "That's very thorough," I said. I didn't want her to be uncomfortable. Our daughter. He still rarely said the word my. Like he didn't feel he'd earned it yet. One afternoon, Lily was particularly fussy. Nothing helped. Not feeding, not changing, not rocking. She just cried and cried. I was exhausted. On the edge of tears myself. Dominic appeared in the doorway. "May I try?" he asked. I handed her over gratefully. He held her against his chest, started pacing slowly, and began speaking to her in Russian. Soft words. Gentle rhythm. Not a lullaby. Just talking. And Lily stopped crying. Just like that. She nestled against his chest and fell asleep. I stared at him in disbelief. "How did you?" "My mother used to speak to me in Russian when I was upset," he said quietly. "It's the only good memory I have of her." It was the first personal thing he'd ever shared with me. "What happened to her?" I asked. "She died when I was 7. After that, it was just my father and his world." The way he said his world told me everything I needed to know. Is he still alive? No. I made sure of that when I was 23. The casual way he said it should have terrified me. Instead, I just felt sad. For the boy he'd been. For the man he'd become. I'm sorry, I said. Don't be. He was a monster. And you? I asked quietly. What are you? He looked at me. Really looked. I'm trying to be better than him. For her. Lily sighed in her sleep. You're already better, I said. You're here. Something passed between us in that moment. Not romance. Not yet. But connection. Real. Undeniable. And terrifying for both of us. 3 weeks into our new arrangement, everything fell apart. I should have known the peace wouldn't last. It started with Dominic becoming tense. Distracted. He'd disappear for hours. Take calls in Russian behind closed doors. The security around the house doubled. What's happening? I finally asked. Nothing you need to worry about. Don't do that. Don't shut me out. He looked at me for a long moment. Someone leaked information about your location. Not here. Vermont. But it's enough to start connecting dots. My blood went cold. Who? I'm handling it. Dominic. I said I'm handling it. His voice was sharp. Then softer. I won't let anything happen to you or Lily. I promise. But promises don't stop bullets. That night, I couldn't sleep. I got up around 2 in the morning, checked on Lily, then wandered to the kitchen for water. That's when I heard voices. Dominic and another man. Speaking Russian in the study. The other voice was angry. Demanding. Dominic's responses were calm. But there was steel underneath. Then I heard my name. And Lily's. The conversation got heated. The other man raised his voice. Then sudden silence. A door slammed. I quickly moved back to my wing before anyone saw me. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something had shifted. The next morning, Dominic was gone. Just a note on the kitchen counter. Had to handle something. Back by tonight. You're safe. D. The security detail was heavier than usual. Men I didn't recognize. I stayed in my wing with Lily. Tried to distract myself. But the hours crawled by. 5 o'clock came and went. 6. 7. By 8, I was calling his phone. No answer. By 9, I was genuinely afraid. Then at almost 10, I heard cars outside. Multiple cars. Doors slamming. Voices. I grabbed Lily and moved to the window. 3 black SUVs. Armed men. And Dominic getting out of the middle vehicle. But something was wrong. The way he moved. Stiff. Careful. He was hurt. I met him at the door. His suit jacket was gone. His white shirt had blood on it. Not a lot, but enough. What happened? I demanded. It's handled. You're bleeding. It's not my blood. That should have made me feel better. It didn't. Dominic. Not now, Mara. Please. He moved past me toward his wing. I should have let him go. Instead, I followed. You can't just. I said not now. He spun around, and I saw something in his eyes I'd never seen before. Fear. Raw, genuine fear. They found the leak, he said quietly. Someone in my organization. Someone close. They were planning to take you. Both of you. Use you as leverage. My legs went weak. But they didn't, he continued. Because I found them first. What did you do? He looked at me, and I saw the truth in his eyes. What I had to. I should have been horrified. Should have grabbed Lily and demanded to leave. But all I felt was relief. Because he'd kept us safe. Because he'd chosen us. You're really hurt, I said quietly. I'm fine. Let me see. He hesitated, then slowly unbuttoned his shirt. A deep gash across his ribs. Not critical, but bad enough. You need stitches, I said. I've had worse. That's not comforting. Something almost like a smile crossed his face. I made him sit. Got the first aid kit. Cleaned and bandaged the wound while he sat perfectly still. His skin was warm under my hands. Scarred in places I didn't ask about. You didn't have to follow me, he said quietly. Yes, I did. Why? I looked up at him. Because you're Lily's father. And because... I stopped. Couldn't finish. But he understood. His hand came up. Cupped my face gently. I would burn the whole world down to keep you safe, he said softly. Both of you. Do you understand that? I nodded. He leaned forward. Rested his forehead against mine. We stayed like that for a long time. Just breathing. Just being. And I realized something terrifying. I was falling for him. Not because of who he was, but because of who he was trying to become. Would you trust him? After that night, everything changed. Not all at once. Slowly. Like ice melting. Dominic started spending more time with us. Real time. Not just watching Lily. Participating. He learned to change diapers. Give bottles. Read bored books in that deep voice that made Lily's eyes go wide. He was terrible at most of it at first. But he tried. Every single day he tried. And I started to see beyond the danger. Beyond the power. To the man underneath. The one who'd had no softness in his life until now. The one who looked at our daughter like she'd hung the moon. The one who looked at me like I mattered. One evening, I found him in the nursery. Lily was asleep in her crib, and he was just sitting there in the rocking chair. Watching her. You okay? I asked quietly. He nodded, but didn't look away from Lily. I keep thinking about what my life was 6 months ago, he said. Empty. All this power and nothing that mattered. Then you disappeared and I realized I'd had something real and let it slip away. He finally looked at me. I don't want to make that mistake again. My heart hammered in my chest. What are you saying? I'm saying I want this. Not just Lily. You. This. Whatever this is. This is complicated, I said. I know. You're still dangerous. Your world is still dangerous. I know that too. And I'm terrified that one day I'll wake up and you'll be gone. Or we will. Or. He stood up. Crossed to me. Took my hands in his. I can't promise you normal, Mara. I can't promise you safe. But I can promise you this. I will fight for you every single day. I will protect what we have with everything I am. Why? I whispered. Because for the first time in my life, I have something worth protecting. He kissed me then. Soft. Careful. Like I might break. And I kissed him back. Not because I was afraid. Not because I had to. But because I wanted to. When we pulled apart, we were both shaking. I don't know how to do this, I admitted. Neither do I. But we'll figure it out. Lily made a small sound in her sleep. We both turned to look at her. Our daughter. Our reason. Our future. Together? I asked. Together, he agreed. The next 3 months were the happiest of my life. And the strangest. We existed in this bubble. This house in the woods where the outside world couldn't quite reach us. Dominic still had to leave sometimes. Handle business. Make decisions I didn't ask about. But he always came back. And slowly we built something. Not a traditional family. But a family nonetheless. Lily started sitting up on her own. Started babbling. Started reaching for both of us with equal enthusiasm. Dominic taught me to cook Russian food. I taught him to appreciate bad reality TV. We'd sit on the couch after Lily went to bed. His arm around me. Just existing. I never thought I could have this, he said one night. What? Peace. I looked up at him. Is that what this is? With you? Yes. He kissed the top of my head. I love you, he said quietly. I need you to know that. My breath caught. I know it's complicated, he continued. I know my life is still a mess. But what I feel for you, it's real. It's the most real thing I've ever had. I love you too, I whispered. And I meant it. Despite everything. Despite the danger and the uncertainty and the fear. I loved him. Not the dangerous man. Not the powerful man. Just him. The man who learned to make bottles in the middle of the night. Who read baby books when he thought I wasn't looking. Who looked at our daughter like she'd saved his life. Because maybe she had. Maybe we both had. I should have known it couldn't last. Should have known that peace is always borrowed. Never owned. It happened on a Tuesday. Dominic was in his office. I was giving Lily a bath. Then I heard shouting downstairs. Men's voices. Angry. Demanding. Dominic's voice. Calm but dangerous. Then gunshots. I grabbed Lily. Dripping wet. Wrapped her in a towel. Ran to the panic room Dominic had shown me. If you ever hear something wrong, he'd said, you go here. Lock the door. Don't come out until I come for you. I locked us in. Held Lily tight. She was crying. I was crying. More gunshots. Shouting. Then silence. Terrible, endless silence. I waited. Counting seconds. Minutes. Then a knock on the door. Mara. It's me. Open up. Dominic's voice. I unlocked the door with shaking hands. He was covered in blood. Face grim. But alive. Are you hurt? I demanded. No. Not mine. He looked at Lily. Is she okay? Scared. But fine. He pulled us both into his arms. Held on like he'd never let go. What happened? I asked. Coup attempt. People who thought I was getting weak. Thought they could take what's mine. And they were wrong. His voice was cold. Final. This was the other side of him. The side I'd almost forgotten existed. Is it over? I asked. He was quiet for too long. Dominic. Is it over? No, he said finally. This changes things. They know about you now. Both of you. It's not safe here anymore. Then where? I have a place. More secure. More isolated. You mean more of a prison? He pulled back. Looked at me. I mean safer. I'm sorry, Mara. But this is the life I have. The life we have now. We didn't choose this. No. But we choose each other. That has to be enough. I looked down at Lily. At her innocent face. What kind of life is this? What kind of life is this for her? I asked. Dominic's jaw tightened. A protected one. An alive one. A hidden one. Yes. He didn't sugarcoat it. Until I can fix this. Until I can make it safe. And when will that be? He didn't answer. Because we both knew the truth. Maybe never. I can't do this, I said quietly. I can't raise her like this. Always running. Always afraid. You think I want this? His voice rose slightly. Then he caught himself. Softened. You think I want my daughter growing up in a fortress? Then let us go. The words hung in the air between us. His face went very still. No. Dominic. No. Firmer now. I lost you once because I tried to protect you by pushing you away. I won't make that mistake again. This isn't about mistakes. This is about Lily's future. Her future is with me. With us. As a family. What family? I gestured around the panic room. This isn't a family. This is survival. Then we survived together. I wanted to argue. Wanted to fight. But Lily started crying harder. Overwhelmed. Exhausted. We need to get her cleaned up, I said. Put her to bed. Mara. Not now. Please. He nodded. Step back. Let me pass. But I felt his eyes on me as I carried our daughter back to the nursery. Felt the weight of everything unsaid. That night, after Lily finally fell asleep, I found Dominic on the balcony, staring out at the dark forest. He didn't turn when I approached. I'm not letting you go, he said quietly. I know that makes me selfish, maybe even cruel, but I can't. Why? I asked. Really why? He was quiet for a long time. Because I've spent my entire life taking things, he said finally. Power, money, control, and none of it mattered. None of it filled the emptiness. He turned to face me. Then I met you. And suddenly there was something I didn't have to take. Something freely given. And when you left, I realized I'd never actually had anything real before. Never earned it. His voice cracked slightly. Lily is my chance to do something right. To be something other than what I was raised to be. And you're the only person who's ever seen past the monster to whatever's underneath. You're not a monster, I said softly. Yes, I am. But with you, I get to pretend I'm not. With Lily, I get to be a father instead of a king. That matters more to me than you know. I moved closer to him. I'm scared, I admitted. Every day. That something will happen. That they'll come for us. That one day you won't come back. I know. But I stopped. Started again. I'm also more myself with you than I've ever been. You don't want me to be smaller. Quieter. Easier. I want you to be you. Even when I'm angry at you? Especially then. I almost smiled. We're a mess, I said. Yes. This will never be normal. No. And I'm probably insane for even considering staying. Probably. I looked up at him. At this complicated, dangerous, damaged man who loved our daughter with everything he had. Who loved me in the only way he knew how. If we do this, I said slowly, really do this, then I need you to promise me something. Anything. You don't hide things from me. You don't protect me by keeping me in the dark. We're partners in this. Equal. Or it doesn't work. He nodded slowly. Agreed. And you find a way to make this life safer. Not just for now. For her future. She deserves better than bodyguards and panic rooms. I'm working on it. Work harder. Something like a smile crossed his face. Yes, ma'am. He pulled me close. Wrapped his arms around me. I will build you a life worth living, he said quietly. I swear it. Just build us a life. We'll make it worth living ourselves. He kissed me then. Deep and slow. And for just a moment, the danger fell away. It was just us. Just this. Just love and fear and hope all tangled together. The move happened quickly. Dominic was efficient when he needed to be. The new place was different. Not a house in the woods. A compound, really. but beautiful, modern, on a private peninsula, water on 3 sides, security everywhere but subtle. It's like a luxury prison, I observed. It's the best I can do right now, Dominic said. But it's temporary. I'm working on something better. What? A way out. For all of us. He didn't elaborate. And I didn't push. Not yet. We settled in. Created routines. Lily started crawling. Started getting into everything. Dominic baby-proofed the entire compound like it was a military operation. Cabinet locks. Corner guards. Gates everywhere. She's 6 months old, I said, watching him install the 15th safety gate. Not a tactical threat. She moves fast, he said seriously. Can't be too careful. I laughed. Actually laughed. And realized I'd been doing that more lately. Despite everything. Despite the bodyguards and the security and the constant low-level fear. We were building something. One morning, I found Dominic in the nursery. Lily was babbling away at him in her crib, and he was babbling back. Complete nonsense. But he was totally engaged. Are you speaking, baby? I asked from the doorway. He didn't even look embarrassed. She started it. Lily saw me and reached out. Mama, mama. My heart melted. Every single time. Dominic picked her up. Brought her over. She's getting so big, he said softly. I know. I can't believe I almost missed all of this. But you didn't. He looked at me. Because you gave me a second chance. We gave each other one. Lily grabbed his nose. He pretended it hurt. She laughed. That beautiful baby laugh that makes everything worth it. I'm getting out, Dominic said suddenly. What? The business. The organization. I'm transitioning out. It'll take time. Maybe a year. But I'm building something legitimate. Something clean. My heart stopped. Is that even possible? I don't know. But I'm going to try. For her. For you. For the life I want us to have. That's dangerous, I said. People don't just leave that world. I know. But I didn't have a reason to before. He kissed Lily's head. Then looked at me. Now I do. True to his word, Dominic started making changes. Slowly. Carefully. I saw less of the violent side of his work. More of the business side. Legitimate investments. Real estate. Technology. He was building an empire that didn't require blood. But empires take time. And the old world doesn't let go easily. 6 months passed. Lily started walking. Started saying words. Mama. Dada. No. Mostly no. Dominic was endlessly patient with her. Less patient with himself. I'd find him in his office late at night. Working. Planning. Strategizing. Come to bed, I'd say. Soon. Now. He'd smile. Close his laptop. Follow me. In the quiet dark, wrapped in each other, the world felt smaller. Manageable. Tell me about the future, I'd say. The one you're building. And he would. A house by the ocean. No guards. No gates. Just us. Just family. Lily growing up normal. Safe. Free. Do you think we can really have that? I asked one night. I have to believe we can. Otherwise, what's the point? He rolled over. Looked at me in the moonlight. You saved me, you know. I hid your baby. Not exactly heroic. You gave me something to live for beyond survival. That's everything. I touched his face. This man who'd been so dangerous. Who was trying so hard to be different. We're gonna make it, I said. All 3 of us. Promise? Promise. I didn't know if I believed it. But I wanted to. God, I wanted to. It happened on Lily's first birthday. We'd thrown a small party. Just us and a few of Dominic's most trusted people. Balloons. Cake. The works. Lily destroyed her smash cake with enthusiasm. Dominic took about 1,000 pictures. Everything was perfect. Until it wasn't. One of the guards came in. Whispered something to Dominic. His face changed. Everyone out, he said quietly. The room cleared in seconds. Just me, him, and Lily in her high chair, covered in frosting. What's wrong? I asked. They found us. The old guard. The ones who don't want me to leave. My blood went cold. When? Soon. Maybe hours. Maybe less. What do we do? He looked at Lily. At me. And I saw him make a decision. I'm going to end this, he said. Tonight. Permanently. What does that mean? It means I'm going to meet with them. Finish what I should have finished months ago. That's suicide. It's the only way to keep you safe. Dominic. Listen to me. He grabbed my shoulders. Gentle but firm. I have a plan. It'll work. But I need you to trust me. I do trust you. But I can't lose you. You won't. You can't promise that. No. But I can promise I'll fight like hell to come back to you. He kissed me. Deep and desperate. Then he kissed Lily's frosting-covered face. I love you both, he said. More than anything in this world. Then he was gone. And I was left standing in a room full of birthday decorations. Holding our daughter. Waiting. The hours crawled by. I put Lily to bed. Read her 3 extra stories. Held her until she fell asleep. Then I paced. The head of security, Victor, a man I'd come to trust, kept me updated. He's at the meeting location. They're talking. Still talking. Then nothing. Radio silence for 90 minutes. I thought I'd go insane. Then Victor's radio crackled. A message in Russian. Victor's face went pale. What? I demanded. What is it? Shots fired. Multiple casualties. My legs gave out. Is he? I don't know. We lost communication. The next 20 minutes were the worst of my life. Then I heard vehicles. Multiple vehicles. I ran to the window. 3 SUVs. Coming fast. Please, I prayed to whoever was listening. Please. The first vehicle stopped. The door opened. And Dominic stepped out. Alive. Covered in blood, but alive. I ran outside. Threw myself at him. He caught me. Held on tight. It's done, he said quietly. It's over. You're hurt. Not my blood. Not this time. I pulled back. Looked at his face. There was something different in his eyes. Something final. What did you do? I whispered. What I had to. To end this. To free us. I didn't ask for details. Didn't want them. I just held him and thanked God he'd come back. The next few weeks were strange. Dominic was different. Quieter. He spent hours with Lily. Playing. Reading. Just being present. Like he was afraid she might disappear. At night, he'd hold me close. Not speaking. Just breathing. Processing. Do you want to talk about it? I asked one night. No. Okay. But thank you for not asking details. I trust you did what you had to. He kissed my shoulder. I did. And now it's done. Really done. What happens now? Now we live. Just like that. Just like that. He rolled over. Looked at me in the darkness. I've transferred everything. Sold off the dangerous parts. Set up trusts. Legitimate businesses. In 6 months, we can go anywhere. Be anyone. You'd give up all that power? It's not power if it owns you. I want to be free, Mara. I want us to be free. What about enemies? People who'll come looking? I've made arrangements. Tied up loose ends. We'll be ghosts. New identities. New life. You've really thought this through. I've thought about nothing else since Lily was born. Since I found you again. He touched my face. I want to take you to Italy. Spain. Anywhere you want. I want Lily to grow up on beaches and in museums and in normal schools with normal problems. That sounds like a dream. It's a plan. And I've never failed when I've committed to something. I believed him. For the first time, I actually believed we might make it. We left on a Tuesday. New names. New passports. New life. Dominic became Daniel. I became Maria. Lily became Lily. Because some things don't change. We settled in a small coastal town in Spain. Bought a villa overlooking the Mediterranean. No guards. No walls. No fear. It took weeks to adjust. To wake up without adrenaline. To walk outside without looking over our shoulder. To just be. Daniel found work consulting for legitimate businesses. I started painting again. Something I hadn't done since college. Lily started toddling around, speaking a mix of English, Russian, and now Spanish. We were normal. Beautifully, boringly normal. One evening, we were on the beach. Lily was chasing waves and laughing. Daniel came up behind me. Wrapped his arms around my waist. Happy, he asked. Terrified, I admitted. That this isn't real. That I'll wake up. It's real. How do you know? Because I spent my whole life in nightmares. I know what real feels like now. I turned in his arms. Looked at this man who'd traveled so far from who he was. I love you, I said. I love you too. Lily ran over. Crashed into our legs. Up. Up. Daniel lifted her. Spun her around. She screamed with delight. And I realized something. This was it. This was the life I'd been running toward without knowing it. Not perfect. Not without scars. But ours. Real. Beautiful. Earned. 2 years later. Lily started preschool today. She wore her favorite dress and carried a backpack almost as big as she is. Daniel held my hand the entire walk there. "She'll be fine," I said. "I know." "Then why do you look terrified?" "Because she's 3, and the world is big, and I can't protect her from everything." "No, but you can teach her to protect herself." He smiled. "When did you get so wise?" "When I ran away pregnant and raised a baby alone for 6 months." "Fair point." We dropped Lily off. She ran in without looking back. Independent. Fearless. Perfect. "We did good," Daniel said. "We did." We walked home along the beach. Talked about normal things. Groceries. Bills. What to make for dinner. And it was perfect. Later that night, after Lily was asleep, we sat on our balcony. Watched the sun set over the water. "Do you miss it?" I asked. "The power. The control." He thought about it. "Sometimes I miss the certainty," he said honestly. "Knowing I could solve any problem. Fix anything. And now I have problems I can't solve. A 3-year-old who won't eat vegetables. A wife who hogs the blankets. A life that's messy and unpredictable." "Sounds terrible," I teased. "It's everything." He pulled me closer. "This is everything." I rested my head on his shoulder. Listened to the waves. Thought about the journey that brought us here. The fear. The danger. The love that grew in impossible soil. "Would you do it again?" I asked. "All of it? Every single moment. Because it led me here. Even the scary parts? Especially those. They taught me what matters." Lily called out from inside. "A bad dream probably." We both went to her. Found her sitting up in bed, looking small and afraid. "Monsters," she said. Daniel sat on her bed. "There are no monsters here, baby girl. I promise." "How you know?" "Because I used to be one. And we don't come around good people." I shot him a look. But Lily seemed satisfied. She lay back down. Let us tuck her in. "Love you, Mama. Love you, Papa. Love you too, sweet girl." We stood in her doorway, watching her fall back asleep. "You told our daughter you used to be a monster," I whispered. "I used to be. And now I'm a father, a husband, a man trying to be better than what made him." He took my hand. "That's all any of us can do, right? Try to be better?" I squeezed his hand. Thought about the woman I was 2 years ago. Running. Hiding. Terrified. And the woman I am now. Strong. Loved. Home. "Yeah," I said softly. "That's all we can do." We went back to the balcony. Back to the sunset. Back to this life we'd built from broken pieces. And it was enough. More than enough. It was everything.